You see it? You don't. The two. It doesn't escape your.
We're only someone who lives. Normally we.
Later, it's a. After a month.
Are you sure that the Famulus lives here?
Yes, according to Lot-Yonan.
Although you try to put a lot of assurance into your voice, you too see no signs that anyone lives here.
No castle, no tunnel, no camp. There's nothing here but mountain.
Then we'll have to take a closer look.
You do that, scholar. We'll be waiting for you here.
You think about objecting, but it would just be a waste of breath.
An old tree. Looks like it could fall down at any moment. There we go. Too steep. I can't get a grip anywhere. I should be able to get up here. Whoa! Whoa. Phew. That was close. I hope this is all worth it. Here's a... No, forget it. Definitely a rock face. There's something engraved on it.
You realize with surprise that they are runes in the Dwarven language.
Built with the blood of our enemies, be unyielding as the rock, and soak the land in their blood. Huh? Hello? Master Garen! Lot Yonan sent me to bring some items back to you. My inquiries are almost at an end. That means I can finally go to be with my sunshine. I deposited my most valuable things in the grave of Horengarth before my departure and secured it with magic. The password is...
Useful. An eternal flame. I know who taught him that.
Hello? Is anyone there? Nerdlings, the fortress belongs to the dwarf haters.
A series of weapons that are all clearly of dwarven origin. The spider webs and rust. It would seem that even the Thirdlings worship Vrakas, but in all the other kingdoms his shrine would be the biggest, not the statue of the kingdom's progenitor. A couple of gold coins are...
Vrakas left this place long ago. Lorimber, the progenitor of the Thirdlings.
In most of the chronicles about the 5 dwarfen kingdoms, only very little is written about the Thirdlings, and what is written
Born of stone, forged in battle, arise reborn from the blood of the enemy.
You're not sure if you really want to know what was once in this basin. The whole place gives...
A rune. Clearly magical. Ah! That's it! Garen's most valuable belongings. letters from his lover, a silk scarf that must have belonged to her, and a medallion. Graves. Could be buried here.
So, Scholar, what are the results of your inquiry?
There is an abandoned fortress in the mountain, and
Boindale's eyes narrow.
A thirdling fortress? Here? In the...
The fortress has been long abandoned by the looks of it. Anyway, I can't go to Ogre's death.
Huh.
The High King...
All right then. It's about the choice of the new High King. Gandagar, the king of the Fourthlings, is with his entourage in Ogre's death and is supposed to ascend the throne.
But our acting High King Gundrabur wants to prevent that from happening. He fears that Gandagar wishes to
But what have I?
Boindale is about to say something, but is silenced by a nudge in the side from him. You look distrustfully from one twin to the other. Boindale has donned an...
Whatever, your high...
But our quest is...
Let it be, dear brother. Look at him. He has made...
There are dead orcs lying in the defensive trenches and strewn over the meadows in front of the city. Some of the locals are busy throwing the bodies on pyres, while others repair the minor damage done to the city wall. While taking a rest, you see a cart trundling along the road not far away from you. The sight reminds you...
Very?
Uh-huh.
No.
And what...
In our kingdom, most take care of domestic life.
It only ever causes problems.
Some of them are talented stonemasons and smiths.
You arrive at a small, bustling village. One thing is clearly missing from the lively scene: the sound of metal on metal from the village smithy that would normally be heard above everything else at this time of day. A dour, grim-looking man is sitting in front of the forge with his right arm in a sling. His expression brightens as he sees you, and he jumps to his feet.
Dear Dwarves, could I interest you in helping me in my workshop for a day?
The man's expression is somewhere between desperation and hope. As you don't answer immediately, he continues.
You will, of course, be royally rewarded for your work. I can offer you 100 gold pieces.
I could help you, but compared to human standards, I'm a master smith, so my services will cost you more.
The smith gulps.
More? How much?
Double. My services should be worth that.
Anger and indignation are written across the man's face.
That's much too much. I could have the smith in the neighbouring village do my work for cheaper. I won't pay more than I offered. Take it or leave it.
You say goodbye and leave. After only a few steps, the resigned voice of the smith calls you back.
All right, all right. Double.
A little later, you are standing in the workshop, examining the smith's inferior tools, while he fires up the forge and prepares everything for the job, as well as he can, with just one good arm. You weren't able to persuade the twins to help you. As warriors, they'd rather go hunting, Boindil declared. But you think it's more probable that you'll find them drinking beer. But you don't care. You're excited about being able to smith again after such a long time. Hours later, you have forgotten everything around you. The heat of the forge, the sweat on your warm skin, the play of the flames.
Wait, I'm talking to you.
You look up in surprise. Everything but the beating of the heart.
Can you do it?
You immediately dislike the middle-aged man. He sounds you out so doggedly with his light grey eyes that it feels as though he wants to look right through you and into your deep... With the forge hammer in your hand, you play dumb. You expect the man to fly off the handle, but you feel even more uneasy when he...
I'm sorry.
You got a nerve, you little rat.
The man moves menacingly close.
Not here.
The angry mercenary glares briefly at his leader before stomping out of the forge.
I thank you for your help, Mr. Dwarf. Perhaps...
The men join a larger group of horsemen.
Not here in the village. Go. Search the road between here and Clintal again.
The other mercenaries nod and the group... You tell the twins about your encounter, and they decide to be especially... In the early evening, you make an unusual discovery on the side of the road. A colourful trader's wagon has been carelessly abandoned, with not a soul in sight.
I don't like the look of this one bit, Boindil. You take a look around there, I'll stay on this side. Tungdil, you check the surrounding area, and be careful.
The dwindling daylight provides little light. It is messy, but no more so than you would expect from a single dwarf. The bed is rumpled, and there are tools and leftover material. As you try to lift the lid of the chest, you realize that the lock has been broken out of the wood. You open the lid. You take the loot. You can't. You take the bread and the cured meat. The smaller... You reach for the... You take a step back, and the realization of what hit you, his head has been cut clean from his neck. The dwarf is wearing clothes that look more like human... His head is being cut off cleanly, probably with a sharp blade. A quick glance in the wardrobe. You can see a lot of tracks in the mud around the wagon. Hoof prints and footprints from humans in heavy boots. At least half a dozen long ones must have approached the wagon from the woods on both sides. You give a short, sharp whistle, and the twins come running at the double.
I have a hunch that the mercenaries from Fallow Rock have something to do...
Wretched dwarf killers!
You wrap the body in linen, dig a hole in the woods, and place the body in it. You lay a couple of his tools and other personal belongings you found in the wagon next to him. You come across an orchard next to a farmstead and surrounded by several fields of wheat. You don't see anyone working in the field.
Excuse...
The young man is startled. He must have not... You draw your axe, and a moment later, the twins do the same. They seem to... The man glares at you angrily. He toys with the idea of... Boindil grins, and you two are satisfied with your bully boy tactics. You put your... The first thing you notice as you enter the village of Clintal is how quiet it is. There is hardly a soul in the... Boindil draws his axes, and Boendal his raven's beak.
Something's not quite right here. Be alert.
You walk on until you reach the village square. Without a word, men enter the square from the left and the right, cutting off your way. You recognize the leader of the group of mercenaries, looking you over with a satisfied expression. Standing next to him is a frail man with greying hair, who doesn't seem able to cope with the situation.
Are you going to kill us?
The leader of the mercenaries shakes his head sadly and seems shaken.
You fiends want to lay the blame on us? You damn murderers!
Murderers? Come here, dwarf killer!
Are you denying your terrible deed? You were seen murdering poor old Mo.
So apparently, you saw us committing murder, but you didn't intervene? And then you overtook us, and only set a trap for us now, and here, several days' journey from the place where it happened. Your story doesn't seem to make much sense.
We knew that the good people of Clintal would stand by us in confronting you. Mort was well known and respected around here.
But how did you know that we would come to Clintal of all places? If you were really tracking us, that wouldn't have been possible. But if you, on the other hand, were the ones being tracked, then it would have been easy for you to steer us into this trap.
He does have a point, Medarin. Why did you?
The village elder stops mid-sentence as the leader of the mercenaries draws his sword. The village elder turns from the mercenary to look at you, and then gives his men a signal to withdraw.
Watch out for the archers.
What is it? I'll be ready soon.
Huh?
Yeah. What is it? I'm not that quick. Yeah. Another one bites the dust. Yeah! Yes!
Huh?
As good as done! Yeah! Huh?
I can't do that yet.
Yeah! And what now?
Yes?
All right. With you. Yeah! Huh? Huh? What is it? What is it? He hardly put up a fight. Another one bites the dust.
Please wait a moment.
Huh? Yes, yes, soon.
And again. Understood.
Huh? What is it? On my way!
Huh?
Huh? And what now? Vile creature. Yes? He hardly put up a fight. I didn't hit you very hard. Who's next?
The last of the mercenaries falls to the ground, but Boindil is still in the frenzy of battle. You and Boendal have to physically restrain him until he comes to his senses. Otherwise, you'd have stormed the houses to find more adversaries. You walk up to the body of the mercenaries' leader and search his pockets. You soon find something. A letter.
An anonymous client seeks dwarf skulls cleanly cut, shorn, and put into jars with honey. 1,000 gold coins will be paid for each skull. Khan, Bounty Hunters Guild Master.
That's bounty hunters hunting for dwarves. Despicable.
You hold the letter aloft so that everyone can see it.
Look, citizens of Clintel, proof that these men are the killers. They are bounty hunters hunting for dwarves.
The village elder comes out of one of the houses, flanked by other villagers. You ignore their weapons, as well as their sinister expressions, and hand over the letter.
It would seem you are telling the truth. And you only killed those who deceived us. I thank you for this.
The village elder You approach the village and can tell even from far off that something isn't right.
By Brackus.
The piggies have really shown those pointy ears. We couldn't have done it any better.
Stay alert. I want to find out what happened to Goren. Hoofprints! Burned into the ground!
Alfar?
The fire in Boindill's eyes flares up with delight.
Huzzah! That would make a change from those stupid peggies. Did you hear that, brother?
Green Glade was one of the few places in Girdlegard where humans and elves live together. You don't see any elven features among all the faces. You have read about the elves and their buildings. This here had always just been a small example of their architectural skill, which achieved perfection. The body of the man is riddled with arrows and is lying in a small patch of undamaged ground, while a sea of flames must have raged. The robes remind you of those of Lot Yonan's famuli. This, plus the fact that the man used magic.
Goren had these books on him when he was attacked. Was he trying to bring them to safety?
Your eyes fall upon a sealed letter next to the books.
Greetings, Tugger. I am glad to hear that you finally wish to confide in Lot Yonan. I think they are the key to his destruction. demon are they talking about?
You instinctively think about how the magical barrier is only a few days' march north of here, and beyond it, Veracruz only knows what kind of creatures live in the Perish Land. The smell of the smoke has accompanied you for a while now, but here, so close to the bodies, it is masked by the sweet smell of death. You have a bitter taste in your mouth and have to pull yourself together to avoid vomiting in disgust. The elf maiden's graceful snow-white face still radiates beauty, in terrible contrast to the rest of her appearance. From the neck down, she is nothing more than a blood-red, damp and glistening skeleton. There are long nails sticking through her thin bones, and where her beautiful eyes once were, are now gaping black holes. In your imagination, you see the Alfar's shadow mare standing around the Lady of Greenglade, devouring her, while she, nailed to the tree, squirms and screams in pain.
I knew I smelled the stench of groundlings.
Huzzah! This will be fun! We finally get to fight!
I hope your blood doesn't clot too much. It has to be nice and fluid for my fine brushstrokes.
Ha! How do you plan to defeat us, pointy ears? There are 3 of us!
Oh, only 3. That makes it easier.
She looks over the corpses.
Othar and Lueth Buanre!
What's happening?
That's the perished land.
Impossible. Greenglade is south of the barrier.
I know of nothing else that can resurrect the dead. Knock their heads off or they'll keep coming back.
Who's next?
Yes?
He hardly put up a fight!
I can't do that yet! Please wait a moment! I can't do that yet!
Who's next?
Ow! Another one bites the dust.
And what now? hardly put up a fight. I'm not that quick. Huh? All right. Huh? He hardly put up a fight. And again. What is it? Pow! Another one bites the dust. Oh, he didn't hit you very hard. Who's next? Yes, yes, shoot! Too easy. I'm not that quick. Yes, yes, shoot!
Yes?
He hardly put up a fight. Another one bites the dust. Yes? Who's next? We hardly put up a fight. Too easy. Vile creature. Oh, he didn't hit you very hard. And what now? Pow! Another one bites the dust. I'm not that quick. He hardly put up a fight. Huh? Yeah! Who's next? Too easy. What is it? Huh? Yes, yes, so! Yes? What is it? Huh? What is it?
Dwarves, you protected the glade.
The perished land. The barrier has fallen.
You can feel your stomach cramping. Unlike Boindale, you can't say a word.
The damn Magi only had one job!
So this is what it is like to rise from the dead. I feel nothing. I am left with nothing.
Without even being able to look into her eyes, you recognize the sadness in the elf.
Garen was here, and I've heard that you elves have special abilities in battle.
I felt her presence, but when I confronted the elf, she had already killed the first of us and resurrected the perished land.
If the perished land spreads further south, then Nod-On won't need any orcs, ogres, or Alfar. One human losing their life.
Your stomach turns, but you know that it's right. You've never seen the twins looking so serious. They would pit themselves against any army of orcs, but this is something beyond their power, and yours.
We must go to Lot-Yonan before the perished land spreads further. I can't believe it.
Who can tell?
It had held back the perished land since the fall of the Fifthlings. Reinforcing the barrier whenever it loses power is the primary duty of the Great Magi. I can't imagine how Nod-On or anyone else could have broken through it.
You think of the demons mentioned in Garen's letter. You wonder whether it could be possible that a demon from the outer lands might possess powers so great that even the 6 Magi weren't ready for it.